Hello everyone, this is Jackie Williams. Thanks so much for joining me. In this video, I want to showcase the Unbounded Beauty Suite. And this one is what we call a mega suite. It has 2 stamp sets and 2 die sets, as well as papers. And this one has glitter paper as well as embellishments. Now, these aren't included in the suite, but these are the shimmer in Color Gems, and they also match perfectly with the Unbounded Beauty Suite. Now, the colors in this suite are the 5 new in colors, as well as Berry Burst. And the sample I want to do with you today, I've taken my inspiration from this card here, although as it evolved, it's actually ended up being quite different. But I hope you like it. So let's start with our card base. And this card base is about 3 3/4 inches by about 8.5. So it is a slimline card. But I thought this slimline size worked quite well with the tall dies in this suite. And now I am going to put a layer on the background, and I've used the brand new plaid folder. And I thought this one went quite nicely with this suite because it's, lines and stripes. And this whole suite is very floral with a lot of pretty colors. So this kind of just gives it some nice contrast. Now I am positioning that so it's centered top and bottom and a little more to the right hand side. Now I'm going to set that aside, and now I have a piece of white that is 3 1/4 inch by 7 7/8 inches. And on the background here, I'm going to stamp the flowers. But I'm going to use this one here, which is just kind of like blob, so it doesn't really look like flowers. And I've taken my inspiration from, again, that background there. But I'm just going to do it a little ways up. So this is pretty in pink. And I'm going to actually stamp off, and I'll do it the small way up, and then stamp on. So I'm getting just a very pale color. And I'll vary the height so that it doesn't look like it's just the same stamp over and over, even though it is. There we go. Happy with that. Now for my background, I want to use this die here, which is 1 die, but when you cut it, it actually comes in 2 pieces like this. So you can use just the label, just the outline, or both together. So I've cut 1 white one and 4 of the printed paper ones. And on the white one, I'm going to stamp the words from the Unbounded Love stamp set in Tuxedo Black. May all your wishes come true. And I thought that was nice for birthday or for wedding or for anything really. Now we'll just position these how we'd like them on the project. And I find it's always a good idea to just lay these things out so that you have some idea of how far apart they need to be spaced. Okay, something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on. Now there's another die in the Unbounded Love labels that is the same shape, but it has stitching around it. And so for the words, I'm going to use this one, and then using dimensionals, put my little label one over top. So you can use these 2 different dies together. And then I cut this die out with white, and I'm just going to use the white outline around my colored pieces. So now I have some colored outlines and some white labels that I can use on another project. I'll just tuck them away in my die set for later. Maybe use them for tags on a gift. And there we go. Now this piece I'm going to mat onto the Petunia Pop. And then I have cut the large floral die out of Petunia Pop, and I'm going to use just a bit of Versamark, and I'm just using the ink pad directly onto the die just to add a little bit of depth around the edges, just to make it a little more interesting, I suppose. And then this right here, there's a little gap that fits around the words quite nicely. I'm just going to use a bit of the edge of my dimensionals to just put a few up on underneath my flower. I'll just do like 3. There we go. And then just trim off the extra here. I'm actually going to change this background to Summer Splash. There, that looks better to me. Before we put this on, I'm going to add a little bit of ribbon along this side. So the easiest way to do this is to add a bit of tape. And then I'm just going to have one of the ends sticking out and then just kind of go back and forth and ruffle it along and then have an end sticking out like that. And then decide which way you're going to cut those. So we'll cut them like this. There we go. And then this can go onto the card base with dimensionals. And then I'm going to put this kind of off to the left-hand side and down in the corners. You can see a little bit more of that embossing. Plus, it gives room for that ribbon detail. Now, one of the things I really like about this die set are these 2 dies. They're just long strips of flowers, as you can see. I love that they're long strips. It makes it really great and easy for cutting out lots of flowers at once, particularly out of the designer series paper. But there wasn't really one that I felt worked, that stood out. So I just cut some out of the Pretty in Pink paper. And I'm just going to randomly place them. If you want to, you can add a little bit of Versamark on the edges of these as well. Now, my intention was to use the colored dots, but I really felt like there was quite a lot going on here, at least for my personal style and preference. So I am just going to use the pearls in the middle there. The iridescent pearls are great to have in your stash for when you just need something very neutral. And there we go. There's our finished card. Now here's one that I made earlier today that uses obviously more the Pretty in Pink and the peach pie with just a little bit of petunia pop as an accent. I like both of these. I think the color combinations are quite nice, quite vivid. I hope you like them too. So let's look at a few other samples using the Unbounded Beauty Suite. So here's one that I shared last week or the week before. This one using the 2-step stamping stamps, as well as that leaf frame in the Unbounded Love frame dies. Also used a bit of that glitter paper in there. And then this card opens up like this, or like this. And we've got those beautiful flowers again. Then use the Keeping Tabs punch to make a little pocket there. Okay, and then we have this one going on away from the papers a bit onto a different color palette, and then just use that big silhouette die in black. And this is a project that can be found in my Stampin' Write Markers Techniques class. And then this project is just another really cool fun fold that makes use of the beautiful pattern papers and how they all coordinate together. And here's that die again that I used in today's project. And these are the iridescent discs, and these are great when you are putting embellishments on like the inside of a card like this, where they need to be really flat. And then these 2 projects are using the floating strip technique, and this project is available in the All Stars Unbounded Beauty video class, and the link is in the video description to download that. It has this project plus 11 others for your creating and inspiration. So there are our projects for this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I made a lot of square cards with this one, I just recognize. If you know someone who has this suite or who really loves it, please share this video with them. Leave me a comment, and of course, subscribe. This is Jacque Williams. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.